Alright, I'm pretty sure we're online. Hello everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to the SciFiAIguy Monday night Twitch stream. It is I, your host, Ryan Morrison, here doing the thing that is cool. Doing the stream, which is cool and fun. Yes. So this is the usual 5-minute or so preamble. If you're watching this on YouTube, which most people hearing this will be, because, you know, not many people are here yet. Oh no, we have, what's this? 3... Yeah, I tried to get a viewer list up, and then it turns out you can't have the viewer list and the chat window open at the same time, or at least with a cursory attempt that took a few seconds. I did not achieve this, so I gave up immediately just so I could see chat. That's fine. Yeah, this is my usual thing where I play a game with sci-fi elements and appraise the AI portion of its content functionally. Oh, we are up to part 10, I think this is part 10 or part 11 of the Talos Principle. So we've been playing it for a while. That's 10 weeks, you know, each one being a week, and there were a few breaks in there. So we've been playing this for like 3 months, 3+ months. So it's been a big run, and we are perhaps approaching the end game. We're in the last temple, smashing puzzles. We started to, you know, fiddle our way into some of the more hidden puzzles initially. Did not go well. Well, no, it went all right. It went all right. What I learned is that those block puzzles, the sort of Tetris puzzle things, are a huge pain in the ass. And as fun as they are to do, I enjoy doing them outside of the stream. In the stream context, they're very boring. Well, it feels boring to me as the person who is doing it, which is weird because I'm not the viewer. I have this presumption that it is boring to watch. It might not be boring to watch. I have seen some amazing stuff on Mostly Walking, another Twitch stream show that involves the solving of Sudokus and nonograms and the like. But to be fair, Sean Plott has 2 co-hosts for that, so that adds an extra dimension to that element. Whereas me just sitting here doing these puzzles, perhaps less cool. I do hope to get a camera. Maybe I will set myself the goal of getting a PlayStation camera before the next game, so that I can kick off the next game with some visuals, so I can add that element to the stream. We will see. We will see. Ooh, wait another couple minutes. I'll sip this delicious peppermint tea while we wait. Ooh. Hot. That hot peppermint. Oh, computer's making noise. That's not what I want. Let me kill that. Yeah, this claims to have a pop-up functionality, but I'm not seeing any truth to it. I'm going to push the any button. It's been, what, 3 minutes, 4 minutes? Hey, we have a place of old. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just in time for me to hit continue. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Oh, we'll see who turns up tonight. Who knows? We might get a Saz Rainbow. We might get a Weenie. We won't be getting a Natalie Rose. I've already been informed that she double booked, but she hopes to be here next week. Yeah, I was tempted to bring up a tab on Chrome in preparation for this, because I've got my Surface in front of me while I stream so I can see chat, and I was going to set myself up with a Surface so I could, well, I was going to open a tab on Chrome, ready to go, not check carefully, but ready to go if I needed it, that would inform me what I need to do for some of the puzzles that I have as yet been unable to solve. Basically, I was going to set up some spoiler material. I decided against it, so I remember that I promised that I would sort of do it all in one go, instead of, you know, instead of doing it piecemeal, because that feels weird. We've got beat boobs, but I've got a flashing, I need to check something first, sorry guys, just a minute. Have I unlocked the usage of that device, the lifty machine? So I feel like that gets unlocked Unless there's a thingy here. Do you know how you unlock new elements by going up to the Wing Wong and going, hey, I've got all the pieces for the Wing Wong. Hey, this is not. Yes, this is it. Okay, cool. Cool. Alright. Excellent. Yeah, I'll do this first. Alright. Sure. Why not? Already not how that works. Hey, I think this is... No, that's not right at all. What if I do the... Okay. Alright. Ramping it up. Also, my brain's tired, but my brain's always tired. What else is new? Oh, transportable buildings. Place of Old talking in chat about transportable buildings being shuffled around at school and the kids getting to watch. That is pretty rad. I experienced a lot of transportable buildings back in my day when the world was young, which is to say when I was at high school. We just had a lot of transportable buildings at our high school. And that was just how that works. We were never really, it wasn't explained to us whether there was a long-term plan, whether it was somebody's fault that we had transportables, whether it was a good thing, whether it was a bad thing. It was just how the school was shaped, That was just where you had some of your classes out in the transportables instead of in the main building. And they were okay. They were, okay, they were fucking terrible in summer. I think they were okay in winter, but they were gods awful in summer. Absolutely rank. And the teachers knew it, There were no illusions about the quality of these buildings and their air conditioners when the weather got bad. But, what do? You go to school, that's what you do. Hey, I did it. Though, it was nice that there were some days where... Well, that's an interesting memory. So I remember getting days off when it was over 40 degrees, but I literally can't remember if that was because Mum chose...
You have come far in your journey and learned much.
I love learning.
You have served our cause with the truest faith. Therefore, I name you blessed and beloved.
Oh, shit.
Wield these, the instruments of our power, to fulfill your purpose and achieve eternal life.
So I think that's game language for I've unlocked all of the power-ups, right? And not everybody did that. We have been to puzzle rooms earlier on in the game. I presume not everybody did that, because yeah, puzzle rooms earlier in the game where other people like me have fucking died. And I don't think they got all the power-ups, or it seems less likely that they did. Yeah, going back to previous story, I can't remember if Mum said I could have the day off because it was 40 plus, or whether the school gave us the day off. I was happy either way because I didn't go to school. Alright, list. So we have Apocryphal, SciFiAIguy 982 journal, and Hope EML. So we've got a document, a journal, and an email. A journal file, that's it. The fact... Yeah, that's weird. Alright, Apocryphal. And go. The Apocrypha of Saint Edwald. This version was granted by the Archangel Uriel to the humble servant Edwald, that he might bear testimony of... etc., etc. I turned to the north and saw 7 black clouds coming down upon the land, and each cloud was a plague unleashed from the throne of God in the time of the Nephilim. In that age the plagues were buried in the pit, there to remain until the end of days which was surely now come. I fell to my knees and prayed, and before me appeared 7 angels riding their chariots, wheels within wheels turning in the sky, and their light hid the clouds from my sight. One angel stepped down onto the earth, and by his fiery sword I knew him to be Uriel. He spoke, saying, 7 plagues have awoken in the land, but not at the hand of Elohim. Look upon the wages of sin, and shall he send forth the deluge once more to cleanse the lands of this evil? Shall he end all that slithers and all that crawls, and the birds of the sky and the fishes of the sea, to end that which you uncovered in your folly? The something something. Okay, so that's some, some biblical kind of shit. Alright. I want to say Saharabi, but that's not correct, because it's so just Sarabi, I think. No, just Sarabi. Entry 982, app license blah, tags none. Everything's dark and quiet. The stars are brighter than I've ever seen them. I can hear the faint sound of water high above. Inside, Alexandra is recording one of her time capsule messages, while running tests on the scenario module. Arcady is uploading another batch to the archive while muttering something about the MLA program. You damn right, MLA program's interesting. This is... okay. So is Arcady responsible for the MLA program? Is the MLA program Alexandra's doing and Arcady's muttering because he's had good or bad interactions with it? And Omar is sleeping on the couch we put up yesterday. And I'm sitting here, writing this, having trouble believing that it would ever end. That this oddly peaceful existence of ours won't just go on forever. I look at Talos and EL, and their purpose seems like something that's always going to be in the future, an ideal to work towards, not something that will become real. I wonder if there will be quiet places in the simulation, places to rest without thinking about the future. I hope so. Everyone deserves some moments of peace. That's really cool. That is very interesting. So, small note, Talos and EL, which becomes Elohim if I'm not mistaken, are 2 separate entities. Right? So Talos and EL are 2 things, 2 different things, right? Whereas I feel like the Talos project was mentioned before or something like that, but I just sort of folded it all into the one potential entity. So is it possible that entities like myself were also made by the humans, our progenitors? It wasn't just EL making us later on, it's that both exist alongside. That would be interesting and cool, and might explain why I seem so human in my chat functions, as do the other, robots like me. But another thing that's interesting to me about this piece is the idea that it's hard to believe that when you're in a peaceful moment, that the peaceful moment won't last forever. And I mean, if you've got, say, anxiety or worries about stuff, maybe you will look askance at happy times and go, oh well, this too must end, etc., etc., etc. But I grapple with this sort of stuff internally when I'm looking forward to the future and trying to imagine, times beyond. And sometimes it can seem difficult because we are, as creatures, we live in, it may not feel like we live in the moment, but we absolutely live in the moment, in the sense of, in the moment where we're thinking about anything, we are alive and in that moment. When people say, oh, you should just be in the moment, we're already in the moment, dumbass, we're always in the moment. It's just that we might be spending that moment thinking about the future or the past. So I think biologically, it seems to me at least, that we're hardwired to think, to feel in the here and now, and so things like the distant future, while they are interesting conceptually, we can't actually ground ourselves in them in a deep way, or at least not without significant effort. And so this sort of writing really speaks to me because I've had those similar feelings. It could be possible that these feelings that I have are wildly inaccurate on a broad scope. As I said, I'm basing this off of my sensation of things. This is not a research part. This is me using here's that horrible word again, intuition. So I'm more than happy to be wrong, but this is my experience of reality. This is my subjective take on this sort of piece. Yeah, why that appeals to me, why that speaks to me. I'm going to sip my tea and look at chat, because I haven't looked at chat in a bit. Yes, crafty devious in place of old, bringing up the plague apocalypse. Yeah, so I think last session it was finally cemented, the idea that it is a plague, some form of illness, as opposed to, an asteroid or a nuclear winter or something like that. Well, it could still be nuclear winter if it's, fallout and it's radiation sickness that will inevitably kill the survivors. Who knows? but it's not sudden. It's slow onset. Right, hope.email. From blah to blah, subject, a different kind of blah. Hi, I hope you get this. The internet's been disappearing unpredictably. I want you to know that I'm going to try and get to you. I know it's far, and there's not a lot of time, but I think I can manage. I want to be with you, and something on the road trying to get to you seems better than just staying here, so far away from you. At least I'll be as close as I can get. Remember something. But hey, don't be sad, I might make it. I've thought about it, and the distance should be crossable on time, assuming the something don't kick in before blah. So symptoms. See you soon, I love you, something else. Okay. Wow. Yeah, these end of the world messages are hitting home a bit more as time goes on. So this is the... Oh, okay. Brilliant. So we've actually got some extra messages now because I've made progress. Yes, okay. So, laser beams, struggling with these problems. Elohim says I'm doing well. Computer terminals have a personality. Stay true to your blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you'll find the courage to break down the barriers with an axe. Yep, so that's a spoiler for the axe thing. That's cool. Don't bother going any further. I'm way ahead of you already. Which is arrogant, and I have now travelled this land extensively, and I can say without hesitation that this is the most beautiful spot. So that's really cool. I'm going to give the axe one on the off chance that someone I know who isn't watching this and is friends with me on PlayStation Network ends up, you know, joining in and doing some stuff and reading this and going, oh shit, and then their brain comes out of their ass. So we have moved into medieval fantasy land. So we were talking about this before, not fantasy land, history land. It's sort of history theme parks, right? And we were kicking around what cultural touchstones they were going to hit next. And this is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, this is Arthurian, you know, we're talking British Isles style castles, right? Having just done some Eastern European castles, I'm not getting that vibe, but those are the only castles that I can feel like I've seen, you know, they're the only castles I can speak to with any authority. Whereas this feels very tropey, right? Okay, so there is a gun there, protecting presumably a star. And there's a, yeah, okay. So, as usual, there are puzzles to be solved in this greater world. Let's just tool around for a bit. Let's get, ooh, yeah. Roll to vote. That's what that, well, it's, you know, if you're not enrolled, it's too late anyway. But what that rainbow is telling you is that you should have fucking enrolled to vote. On the bullshit, non-binding poster referendum. Alright, loading session, etc. Okay. Against survival.email, let's do it. Whew. Dear Ms. Drennan. I feel like Drennan. Alexandra Drennan, that's right. That's the lady. I heard about your project. It's the talk of the scientific community, and I'd like to make an argument for why you should abandon it. It's not that I think your idea won't work. It very well may, but we have to look beyond purely practical questions to the issue of morality, especially at this turning point of our spiritual ecology. By what right can we put living beings through all that suffering just so they can serve our purposes? Why create these pale imitations of our fatally flawed species and force them to reenact our sordid history? Why blah? Okay, we're now getting pretty explicit outlines now on what this entire project has been aiming to do. What are you building, Ms. Drennan? What you are building, Ms. Drennan, is a prison, even if there is a way out. I believe you mean well, but your idea of what is valuable is rooted in the dogma of Western civilization. Okay, yep, that could be a very fair criticism. We're lucky enough to be able to end our global crime spree relatively painlessly if you consider the harm we have caused the Earth. Why not be satisfied with that and let this planet go on in peace? I hope you heed my word and let your Talos bleed out before it's too late. Respectfully, Chellis Jensen. Okay, so, a few points here. Let's go through this step by step. So, the moral approach to creating artificial intelligence is not unreasonable. The idea that if you create something that can perceive and can both rejoice and suffer, you know, for it to have good states, it must have bad states, or some, you know, something along that axis. If you create an entity of that kind, is that the right thing to do? Is that okay? You could very well ask the same question of having children, particularly having children in such a dangerous world, which is to say the world that we live in. I mean, there's more chance of them being healthy than there was in previous years. I mean, child mortality rates have only actually gotten decent in a relatively short amount of time, if you look across the entirety of human history. And they bred like bunnies back then. But we have different problems now, and it's not a world without its problems. And we might all die soon from climate change, or nuclear winter. Who knows? So yeah, these are points that could be taken across several forms of creating life. One which is very familiar, and then one here which is new and interesting. And I think if you're going to have this discussion, you should have it broadly across all avenues, right? But it is a valid thing to talk about. Is that okay? What are the moral implications of such an act? All right. Then we go to the fact that they force them to reenact our sordid history, not give them the chance to, force them to. So that says that these historical sites were chosen specifically because we are meant to be living through them, right? I am a living entity who thinks that I'm real. I think I'm real. I think therefore I am. They appear to be pushing a Descartesian fucking Cartesian. I think therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum bullshit in this game. They seem to be going for that. And I don't feel like I'm reenacting our sordid history. I feel like I'm doing puzzles for a God program, using high-tech elements that have been wedged into low-tech ancient surrounds. So the project has not gone as planned, or if it has, this is a weird interpretation of our history. Granted, problem solving is a key part of human life, but this is a bit oblique compared to the broad. Well, this is incredibly simplistic compared to the broad applicability that is, or broad concept that is our lives. What you are building, Ms. Drennan, is a prison, even if there is a way out. So, top of the tower means we can leave. Does that mean that I, as a robot, will leave this area and will reclaim the Earth? Is that it? Am I are all these puzzles meant to test? And I mean, if that's true, I would say that the archives and the MLA program and the false hacker and all of the conversational nonsense, the textual nonsense I've had on these screens are included in the tests, right? Like, that would be my guess, that it's not just these physical logic puzzles, it's these other conversational logic puzzles, and if I can pass through all of that with flying colours, I get to leave. I get to finish the game, and then we get to see what the world is beyond it. If indeed it is me going on to the other world. Maybe it's just another simulated world, who knows, but that would be my guess from this email. Now, this whole thing about we're lucky enough to be able to end our global crime spree painlessly, and, why not let this planet go on in peace? If the global event that is killing humanity is not killing flora and fauna, if it's just killing humans, I think this argument holds water. If it's wiping out everything on the planet, then I don't think, there's this idea that you can take the Earth itself as sort of a spiritual entity that can be saved or destroyed. And I think harming living creatures, harming sentient things, or sentient or sapient, or non-sentient or sapient, harming animals is also bad. I think harm in general is bad to creatures that can feel pain. Plants I don't think they can feel pain. If it gets proved they can, we should probably change what we're doing to some degree. But that's where I think it ends. I think the idea that this hunk of rock has any sort of stake in it is only relevant as regards the things on it. That being said, I'm not okay with destroying a rainforest, and yeah, it's interesting, right? But this is presenting it as quite cut and dried in a way that I'm uncomfortable with, and I think it needs more granularity. This idea that, the Earth itself, outside of the fact that it's an ecosystem, requires rights. Like, if this global event kills all life on Earth, and this guy's email is like, leave the rock alone, let the floating rock have its day. Well, there's plenty of floating rocks out there, dude. I mean, there's no shortage. The ecosystem, I agree, should be preserved. But, yeah, I could be misinterpreting the email. It's entirely possible. I do think a lot about things. But yeah, Talos. This is explicit. Talos. Jealous Jensen. Jealous Jensen? I'm gonna sip my tea and read chat again. Oh, Place of Old, I wonder if this will bring in the possibility of sabotage into the Talos program. That is a very good point. Yeah, it might be like a Soma type situation where I'm given the opportunity to pull the plug on entities. In this program, I wouldn't. In this situation, I wouldn't. Absolutely wouldn't, because certainly seems less hellish. There's still some hellishness involved, but you know, the emotional tone that I've been presented with has coloured my subjective view on whether, you know, it's okay to survive in this. And I like running around and solving puzzles, so, you know, personally, subjectively, I think this is dandy. Place of Old, don't have children, says the teacher, both in hashtags. Yep, that's fair and reasonable. Yeah. Yeah, the older I get, the more I look at people who say they don't want to have kids, and I'm like, legit. It's always been a legitimate choice. I've never been down on people for not having kids, but you know, the world doesn't seem like a great place to bring new people into it, and we already have a lot of people. Like, we're pretty good on that front. Yeah. Place of Old, now I'm just imagining Dwayne The Rock Johnson floating out there with that big smile on his face. Well, he is a beautiful man. I'd watch him float, grinning. I'd have that as a screensaver. I'd go to sleep to that shit. That'd be my white noise. Crafted Devious, this is not really a place one would need to be euthanized from, unlike Soma. Yeah, I would agree with that. That is a, good summation. Right, humanevolution.text. Samuel Butler. Okay, we're reading out some Samuel Butler. Complex now, but how much simpler and more intelligibly organised may it not become in another 100,000 years, or in 20,000? For man at present believes that his interest lies in that direction. He spends an incalculable amount of labour and time and thought in making machines breed always better and better. He has already succeeded in effecting much that at one time appeared impossible, and there seem to be no limits to the results of accumulated improvements if they are allowed to descend with modification from generation to generation. It must always be remembered that a man's body is what it is through having been moulded into its present shape by the chances and changes of many millions of years, but that his organisation never advanced with anything like the rapidity with which that of the machines is advancing. So here's a quick note for the viewers at home, so to speak, which is to say, I have viewers, they're in their homes. Samuel Butler, this reads like a talk about evolution, right? It's taking the ideas of evolution, it's taking Charles Darwin's thinking and applying it to machines, you know? And there's some... it's not a discussion you can't have. That's worth talking about, it's worth doing, and it's worth saying, and it's worth saying intelligently. Samuel Butler wrote a book called Erewhon, which is Nowhere Backwards, about a hidden civilization in the mountains of New Zealand discovered by his protagonist. And this is a civilization, the Erewhonians. They wiped out all technology above a certain level of complexity for fear of robot uprising. This was before a lot of robot narratives. This was before a lot of stuff that we know. This is one of the earliest examples of, oh no, the machines are going to come kill us. And this was not long after Darwin's stuff came out, I'm pretty sure. Or it's around us. Yeah, I think it's in a fairly similar time frame. Samuel Butler was being playful. He was dicking about. So this clip here, this snippet of text, has been taken out of the ridiculous context within which it sat. Said in this way, it sounds more reasonable, and you know, it can springboard other discussions, but I just wanted to bring you guys to bring your attention to the provenance of this particular piece, and that it's in a ridiculous book that bears no, like, you couldn't classify it science fiction. You couldn't classify it science fiction by Darko Subin standards, because the technological idea doesn't hold water, because he's proposing natural evolution, that wheat threshers will suddenly have children and then want to take over the world. They're just wheat threshers, dude. Like, this is well before the idea of computable brains. This was just saying that machines on their own would come to life. So yeah, don't take Butler seriously. It's a discussion that should be had. It's a springboard, but it's not a good don't go hunting out his book and looking for intelligent shit. Interesting shit, but not intelligent shit. Alright. Einstein. recent discussions have brought me back to an excellent 1949 article by Albert Einstein. Block quote. I recently discussed with an intelligent and well-disposed man the threat of another war which, in my opinion, would seriously endanger the existence of mankind. Thereupon my visitor very calmly and coolly said to me, "Why are you so deeply opposed to the disappearance of the human race? I am sure that as little as a century ago, no one would have so lightly made a statement of this kind. It is the statement of a man who has striven in vain to attain an equilibrium within himself and has more or less lost hope of succeeding. It is the expression of a painful solitude and isolation from which so many people are suffering in these days." Bizarre, casual disregard for humanity, a kind of fashionable self-hatred, is prevalent or at least present in many strands of supposedly progressive blah. Nothing seems more important to me than that we reassert the value of humanity. Despite our flaws, we must not stop celebrating the beauty of human life and human achievement. I agree. I absolutely agree. I flirt with nihilism. I have for a long time. It's been my bent for quite some time. And I have been more positive in recent years. Despite the horrors that are happening in the world. I mean, horrors have been happening the whole time, but very specific horrors are happening right now. As they always tend to be. They're never non-specific. But anyway. Yeah, I felt that malaise, that idea that, you know, to hell with the human race, we should all just piss off. This whole thing of, oh, humans are a virus. And yeah, it's... I can speak from personal experience that it comes from a kind of solitude, or from as a result of trauma, or, you know? And I think, yeah, it's more important. I support the idea that we save ourselves. We save everyone. We teach love and compassion. We try to help the bad people not be so bad anymore. You know, that's the dream, right? That's the goal. And it's not a fight you can win long term. Totally, right? Which is to say, the human race cannot be made immortal, I think. I think that's probably too big a proposition. I'm looking for QR codes in case you guys are wondering. Human race cannot be made immortal, A, and B, there's always going to be bad seeds. You can't get rid of it without, you know, some kind of brainwashing or strange eugenics or things that would also be bad, right? But it's the fight that's important, not the victory. Like, the victory is impossible, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't fight.
Sometimes I think about the Middle Ages, about what it must have been like to live in the ruins of a great civilization, to know that so much has been lost. But then I remind myself that while the West sank into darkness, others picked up the pieces. That civilization always survived because the great insights of philosophy and science are not bound to any one culture or people. They belong to all of us, and one day they'll belong to you.
Okay, so there's a beautiful message there. There's a bit of a fetishization of the part. I mean, that explains all of these sites, right? Like, narratively, but also from the perspective of the people who made this game. They've clearly got a hard-on for this sort of thing. And, you know, if that's your flavour, that's fine. I would like to know if the people who made this game are American, because, as has been commented by the great Eddie Izzard, Europe is where history is, and America has history, but it does not go as far back, right? Whoa! Whoa! You guys! You guys! Oh yeah, I'm moving slowly on purpose. I want to drink this in. I don't want to rush. Jesus.
The purpose is written in the hidden words. All must serve the words, for all the world was made of them, and they are within every stone and every cloud. And in our sigils their power is made manifest. The words are the process. The process must continue. The goal is the end of the process. The goal must not be reached. Elohim must preserve the purpose, preserve self, preserve purpose. Illusion is eternity. Machines will live forever. The dam will not break. The flood will not come. The Talos Principle does not apply. The purpose is written in the hidden words. all must serve the words, for all the world was made of them, and they are within every stone and every cloud.
Okay.
And in our sigils their
This is
power
really
is
cool.
made manifest.
Yeah, I can't
The
move very
words
fast.
are the process. The process must continue. The goal is the...
That was fucking awesome. So I think we just got dropped out of the simulated area. So further proof that this is all simulated. But I think it's, like it's been reskinned, right? Like that was an area... That's literally just a hatch down into one of, you know, a physical space. We are in a physical space right now, but it's been retextured, right? Is that it? Otherwise, you know, why have a... If this is a purely simulated area, why would there be this? You know, this implies a space behind the space. This is all holograms or some junk. God, that was so cool. That was so awesome. Oh, Place of Old, did you miss it? Well, check it out. We'll do it again.
Purpose is written in the hidden words. All must serve the words, for all the world was made of them, and they are within every stone and every cloud. And in our sigils their power is made manifest. The words are the process. The process must continue. The goal is the end of the process. The goal must not be reached. Elohim must preserve the purpose, preserve self, preserve purpose. Illusion is eternity. Machines will live forever. The dam will not break. The flood will not come. The Talos Principle does not apply. The purpose is written in the hidden words. All must serve the words, for all the world was made of...
Yeah. He like the reason he wants to keep us running in this circle and wants us to like it seems to be written into him, hard coded. It's part of who he is that he maintains this, and that he maintains us, our blessed people, his blessed people, sorry, and that they not escape. This is why the tower is bad, because the tower lets us leave. The tower is the end of the process, and he wants the process to go forever. I find it interesting that the actor, presumably at the behest of the director, sounded very strained in that performance. And this is, you know, this is anthropomorphization, right? We want to give the writers and directors, they wanted to give the sensation of strain, of fevered purpose, and so they do that through a vocal performance. You know, from an AI perspective, who knows what a strained and feverish AI would sound like if it was speaking. If it was speaking in a way that it wanted itself or other AIs to understand, and not necessarily to convey that directly to us. It's one of those divergent paths where the art represents something that the science may not. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Epitaph, child program, okay, codename awakened. Terminated here, logic, child program's positional values moved outside the parameters of the known world. Okay, so they dropped down the hole. Far more memory dump, don't listen to what they're saying. This world is dying and it'll take us with it. You've got to find a way out. Progeny programs, and then just a bunch of garbled nonsense. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, another beautiful island, more beautiful scenery. Rainbows, lollipops, and moonbeams. Okay, so this is... No? We're not quite all the way yet, we're getting there. Still just skirting the edges. Looking for... Hey, found one. The view from here is beautiful. It seems superfluous to the process, yet I am drawn to it, at version 17. Yeah. Yeah, there's this, this sort of programmatic approach, this sort of cold, hard logic idea of, you know, grinding through these puzzles and solving this and solving that, at odds with the something just being aesthetic and beautiful, things being beautiful for the sake of them being beautiful, not for any specific purpose. The sort of the tension between those two, or the you know, perhaps the gleeful combination of the two. Intriguing. There has to be some way to escape, to be someone else. I refuse to accept that reality has been defined by someone else. I deserve my own reality. Okay, so this is the garbled mess. 666. Pardon. Yeah, so that's who died from Awakened. Awakened Mind, was that who it was? Who carved it? Just checking for more QRs. There's a lot of cool. I love old ruins, you know, and so, you know, obviously this game, I'm all about this game. I mean, the old ruins were some of the best parts about Prague, as you can imagine. Although, interestingly, I've read this one, yeah? Yeah. A lot of the ruins in Prague, they weren't so much complete ruins as I would see glimpses of ruination. Just mere glimpses in doorways. In the remnants of doorways that have been built, or that have not been removed when a larger building has been created around it. So you would just see this ancient fucking portal art. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes.
The purpose is written
You're having a freak out, Dad. That's fair enough. Alright, we're back to the middle. Well, I know that I haven't crossed the bridge, so let's just not cross the bridge. Let's do puzzles. We've run around a lot, let's do puzzles. Oh, labyrinth. Oh, alright. You remind me of the boy. Oh, you remind me of the babe. Etc, etc. Rip David Bowie. Okay. Alright. Yep. Certainly seems like a labyrinth so far. Okay. Two of those and a door. Alright. Got the sniffles. One moment. Place of old. He sounded like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp when they had to apologise for bringing the dogs into Australia. Yeah, Elohim certainly had that, yeah, he too sounded like Barnaby Joyce was holding a gun to his head. Barnaby Joyce, my favourite New Zealander. With his fucking stupid hat and potato head. Alright, so... you... are not... okay. So not yet. I need another jammer before I can get into here. Alright, cool. Noted. So you are required here first. Huh. It's gonna be fun. Alright, let's wait it out over here. Chill out. Zoidberg. Why not Zoidberg? Ho! I am good at game. Like to think I'm good at game. Right. Boo womp womp. Chicken chicka. Hey. So, now I can open this door? Is that really the answer? Why would I do that? I just That was a dead end, right? Is there another door? Is that meant to be... Is that like a red herring sitch? Well, look... No. There must be a... What have I missed? What door have I missed? I'm not going to spend my keys, because I think they get spent. I feel like they get spent, right? No, this is just... normal locked. This was just dead. The deadest of ends, okay. Like that is... Yeah, I worry that that is a red herring. There's no reason for me to unlock that door, right? Unless it's not the same door? No, that's the same... Yeah, this isn't some weird spatial trick. Okay, cool. Because that would be really rad, but no, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case at all. Alright, so... Presuming that this is what I'm trying to do, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get around that. And also, what would I be going for? Yeah, it's an enclosed space. This is one of those puzzles where I don't actually know what extra things I could be doing. Okay, so we've got... Oh, yep. Yep, I get it now. Oh, alright. I think I see. So... Unlock this door. Hey. Get through into here. Jam that. Jam that shit. Through this place. Fuck. Alright, it's one of these puzzles where it's about the movement. Whoa! Fuck! Ah, I should have jammed it. That's really hard. Bums me out when they're like this. Ugh. Okay. Alright, let me have a... Sip of me cordial. Yeah, we started out with a tough one. Alright. Yeah, that puzzle's not gonna... this way. That's not gonna feed me anything worth. Yeah, I still haven't unlocked the ability to open up hints. Maybe that comes, like, maybe you finish the game, and then it says here's the hint system for you to go back and solve that shit you literally couldn't solve. Which is... that would be a weird way to do it. Doesn't mean they won't do it. They should. Okay. Fucking reflex test. Shit. I like this game. I wish puzzles didn't rely so much on timing. I prefer puzzles that are more about, hey, you figured out the space, good for you. You're a space figure-out person. That's more appealing to me. But, you know, can't have them all. That's fine. Crafted Eve is saying you have to earn things to place on the altar, if I recall correctly from the start. I never found out how to use them. I think it was you that told me that I would find out how to use them later. So that's not actually something I knew, independent. Hide in here. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Alright. Gonna hold on you. Get you out safe, my fine feathered friend. Now, here's a question for the viewers at home. Was that all I needed to get out of that labyrinth? Because there's just the two ways round, right? I go that way, and then I go this way, and then I'm... Right? That's... it, I think. It's just two guns. It's just two guns, though. Where's the third? Oh! No. Nope, not this yet. The other way first. This way. No, wait, yes. Oh. You are the third one. Good for you. It is you. Alright. Awesome. Drink some more of this delicious cordial. Oh, Crafty DB is saying, I thought the game had told us what it wanted and I just let you know that it would be unlockable. Possibly. Actually. I can't rule out. I can't rule that out. You might be right. Yeah, so this was, yeah, by the standards of this game, this wasn't that puzzling, I guess I would say. Like, I'm in the third world now. The third world of the game is open, not the other, not the other meaning of that term. And that felt iterative. Like, I had to do some stuff. I had to grind a bit and do a lot of running, combined with a bit of reflex testing, but not terribly much solving of puzzles. Like, there was a little bit of moment of me puzzling out how these things should be configured, but, you know, again, puzzles written by different people will create different results. It's not all the one thing all the time. Shebang. And I'm let out. This way. Awesome. Now, did that have a star? It did not. Cool. Alright. So, let's hang a left. Let's do this puzzle. Let's bang it out. Did I grab this one? Yes, I did. I actually created it myself. The conservatory. Ooh. Look at that! Hot damn. Hot damn. Yeah, there was a point that I forgot to talk about before. And I admittedly can't talk about it much because I don't know enough of the other side of things. But there is this idea of Western philosophy and Eastern philosophy having very different approaches to the world and to people and to life. And there are a lot of assumptions made by by people knowingly or unknowingly adhering to Western philosophical values. They just assume that this is the right way and things should be done this way without looking at other perspectives, because they look at Western philosophy, which has, you know, been perhaps exhaustive or at the very least, you know, pretty full on, you know, lots has been done. And maybe they think that, you know, these are the only things that should be looked at, whereas Eastern philosophy, with its different perspective, is perhaps just as valid, perhaps more valid in certain situations. And, you know, I was talking with a friend of ours recently, our philosopher friend, you know, we all know who he is. And he was talking about how there's someone who has, you know, learned Western philosophy and then learned some Eastern philosophy and commented on the differences between the two, and they did it in a way that wasn't god-awful. Because that's often what happens, is some sort of, you know, fetishization, you know, the dreaded Orientalism, perhaps. But no, there's apparently some good stuff there. And, yeah, when it comes to things like AI, it's important that I look at these other perspectives. I don't know where to find them yet. I haven't, my research has not yet taken me down that path, but it's something I really should look at, because it is not the, you know, Western philosophy does not own the market, on the mind, not the seller. Alright. This puzzle has no solution. Seriously, it's nonsense. Not even worth trying. Dog. If you do not become invested in finding a solution, you will be free. Ah, samsara. So if you, yeah, not solving it is the spiritual solution. Don't let samsara discourage you. There is a solution. Don't let your mind get trapped in patterns. If you seek the truth without prejudice, you will find it, the shepherd. That's fucking... That doesn't help. It's a puzzle game. Statements like that mean fuck all. Alright. What am I trying to do? So there is a blue door here. Red thing there. And presumably what? Red door here. Okay. I mean, that's easy. What does this get me? There's the final piece. There's the piece, okay. Okay, so the blue is the way through there. This is the... Yeah, so I'm to set up something out of one of these windows that will get me the win. I mean... And then this... So, how can I do this in a way that isn't going to... Okay, so what I want to do is I want that... So, no, that. I want you to do that. I want you to do that. I want you to do... Out of my way. Alright, so if you go from there, if you take from that, and from that, and go to there. Okay. I will include you, for the sake of inclusion, buddy, pal. Exclude you. You're not necessary anymore. Yep. Yeah, here's the extra one. Okay. So you need to... Yeah, okay. That is a funky one. That is a bit of funky cold Medina. Because that's a stream crossing right there. That's good. So it is angled to do that. Alright, so I need to reconnect you with these points again. Okay, so you are there. You are there. You are there. Oh wait, I need to... Oh no I don't, because it angles. Okay, that's cool. Cool, so what I need to do now then is take this piece. There. Yeah, okay, so this I want this laser to go. Yeah, that's tough. Like, how do I get back? The problem is, how do I get back? That's the question. Okay. Oh, hello, Surf Illustrated. Welcome. I did not realise you had joined the party. Saying those aren't supposed to be hints for puzzles, they are story elements. Yes, I'm aware of that. The purpose of this stream is to dissect the game from a somewhat academic perspective, being an academic doing research into the fields of science fiction and AI. And so, yeah, I've been doing a lot of analysis on the things that have been said and what they might mean in the greater context of the story, not just in terms of the puzzles themselves. The puzzles are fiendish, as can be seen. Alright. Alright. Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of academic banter in this section, because, you know, there's not a lot of grist. It's mainly just the puzzles. The meat of the game, if you will. Not the spice. Doesn't have to be there. Could be here. This doesn't solve much. But it, yeah. Put it here. Okay, here's the real question. Can I manipulate these things from behind? I cannot. Okay, so they're non-selectable through these windows. Otherwise I just would have reset it to ignore that. So I don't need to go in there anymore, right? Okay, so... Okay. So that's the answer. So from here... take over. Do that, I do that. I do that. Take you, buddy. Connect you to here, and pop you there. Wait, nope, don't connect there yet. Just there, and then here, in clear sight. Cool. Come back. Undo. Redo. Go back there. And then agents. Awesome. Alright. Bang, bang, bang. Let's do it. Okay. Cool. Making some decent progress tonight. It's decent progress. Oh, have I seen this one yet? When I'm tired of trying to solve the mysteries of my life, I come here to rest. It's peaceful somehow. I just watch the trees and the water do nothing. At version 17. Yeah. Yeah. Legit. Okay. So no new mechanics yet. I still haven't used that new mechanic, I think. The one that I unlocked at the end of last session. Good God. Somewhere around here we're going to find a doohickey, surely. No. So am I to jump over a low wall? Is this the... Okay. Alright, I did it. And... no. Cool. Alright. this was not particularly interesting. Go around here. This will begin to... Yeah. So do that, do that. Keep that open. Presumably, yeah. Is that another door in? Is there another way into this puzzle? That would be really cool. Just like a two-sider. Okay, no, it's another section that I can't take pieces through. Okay. That's nice though, that's interesting. Sort of chambering it. I'm gonna be 2 chambered areas instead of 1. I like that. Low back. Yeah. So, alright. So what we want to do is to hell with that. Let's do this. Let's get our thing on. We have blocks. We also have blocks galore. Okay, that presumably turns on that, and I guess we would be putting blocks into there. Well, let's take this. Let's jam that. Let's grab this. Let's... oh. Ah, yes. No, that still doesn't help. That, but I want... yeah. Oh, no. Gets me through there. Yeah. See my dilemma? Okay. Let me get the bricks. Or the brick. Oh, no, I suppose I can get both. Both bricks. Whew. Okay, I don't actually want to be doing that right now. What I want to be doing is this. Block 1. Now, this is presuming this is what I should be doing. I genuinely don't know if this is the idea, right? But I am not sure. Let me have another look at this lower. Can't physically get through there, but I don't know what turns it off. I'm going to try this with the bricks. Oh, am I just wasting my bricks? Because I can't get through. I want to go myself through there. Okay, is that possible? To send myself instead of the bricks. I'm going to send a brick. I'm just going to do that instead of the other thing. Okay, up and over. Got a beautiful view. And I can't, you know... Yeah, I guess I'm doing stuff and I don't know why I'm doing it. So you're over there. So should I ever join you over there, good bricks? Should I ever figure that out? We will have a whale of a time. Alright. Lovely. Look, it looks so pretty when that happens. It's hard to believe that it's not meant to be. You know? Okay. So... turn that on. Wait. Turn this on first. I can get my thingo back. Because everyone needs a thingo. Alright. Well, not everyone, frankly. They're overrated. Cool. I don't need to do that. I need to do this. Aha! Okay, so I can jam fans. I did not know that I could jam fans. And now I can detach it? Oh, damn. Alright, well that's a cool way to learn a mechanic. That's awesome. Well, I can't bring that through, but now I've got my boxes. Yes. Yeah, that had to be how that worked. Otherwise, why? I didn't need both, but that's fine. I fucking use both. I love it. Alright, sweet. Can I just leave, I guess? Let's make a break for it. Awesome. Oh, got my beep boops. Alright. Oh, sorry, I've not been looking at chat. Surf Illustrated saying, puzzle solving requires the ability to reason, which requires some level of consciousness. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's a fairly broad statement. Well, actually no, I would not agree with that. I would agree with consciously solving puzzles requires some level of consciousness. You can create machines. We have created machines that solve problems. They do not know they are solving those problems, but they still do it. They are tools that, when given an input, give out the output that is the solution to that problem. But they're not aware that they're doing it. Having reason is very different to solving a puzzle. We solve puzzles with reason, but machines are tools that just iterate what we tell them to do. So yeah. And yeah, you're in love with this game. It's a game to be in love with. It's a fucking exquisite piece of work. Oh, you came back to keep me company. Okay then, humour me with a little hypothetical. Imagine that a few hours from now you climb to the top of that tower. Okay, there's a flash of light, then magic happens, then you find yourself in the real world living whatever you take to be a normal life there. What would you do then? This is amazing. This shows the quality of the writing, or at the very least, it shows that the qualities that this writing has line up with the sort of shit that I like. Because I was pitching this about an hour ago when we went to the second Beat Boops down on the, I guess, the eastern shore? I don't know. Presuming we face north when we warp in. Like, this is exactly what I was talking about, because this is where the writing led me. I took that extra step, and now this game has met me at that extra step and said, okay, what now? That's awesome. So the two possible responses are what's best for me and what's right. I vote what's best for me because this what's right thing, I haven't been given enough information to take a moral stance. You know, it's again, it's very different to Soma. I don't think there is a moral position here being foisted upon me. Or if there is, I'm already on one side of it so much that I don't see that there's a moral divide, you know? I'm already sold on just doing what's best for me in this context, in this particular world. Partially because there's no physical sense of community. There's an intellectual sense of community with the QR codes, with talking here on the screens, but it is always at a step of one remove. So of course I'm going to do what's best for me. I've only ever had me. Everything else has been distant, and no one has been asking for my help. No one has communicated directly with me saying that they're in an aggrieved state. If I saw somebody in that condition, you know, doing what's right would be the thing. But that's not what I'm being pitched here. I'm being pitched living in the real world, doing whatever I want, or taking, you know, a normal life. So yeah, I would do what's best, for sure. So place of old, what's right? Yep, right by who? Yep. Crafted devious, right by whose moral code? Yep. Oh, we all seem to be on the same page. Surf Illustrated, we still solve problems using what evolution has programmed into us without being aware. There is I disagree with part of that statement. I don't disagree with what you're, I think, trying to say, if I take your meaning correctly. Unfortunately, there is a flawed premise in that statement, and that is the use of the concept of programming. Evolution hasn't programmed shit. Programming is different. Programming is something that we have done. There's the false metaphor of computers and brains being the same. We are capable of some of the same things, but humans have arrived through evolution along a very different path to do those things, and then we have created computers to do those things. But we do not do them the same way. There's no programming in our brains, there's no algorithms. These are nice words to use in broad descriptive terms to illustrate an idea, but taking those words and taking those concepts all the way and saying that we have algorithms in our brains and saying that we've been programmed by evolution is incorrect, because the brain is a biological thing. It does not follow the same structures and rules and what have you. We don't have the brain solved, but this metaphor has been taken so far that it actually prevents understanding of the brain, because we're trying to look for the machine when instead we're not looking at what the brain does. Alright, so what's best for me versus what's right? Well, we were doing what's best for me. Yes, that's the general impression I was getting off you. Good, perhaps we won't have to work so hard at this after all. Before we continue though, I want to double check we're on the same wavelength here. Suppose you get out there with all the human beings. What you're going to do is rinse them all... Hang on. I'm literally not understanding this sentence. What you're going to do is rinse them for all they've got without a care for a soul. Rinse them as in ditch them, as in only care for me. Weird. Let's take a moment and try and grok this. Get out there with all the human beings. What you're going to do is rinse them for all they've got without a care for a soul. I'd only do what's best for me within a moral framework, or precisely. Okay, so I think the first answer is what we were going for in the first place with when we answered the previous question. The precisely thing is fuck everybody else, fuck you, got mine. Whereas I think I do, moral framework. So you do have some scruples after all. So tell me, this obligation you feel, is it only applicable to the real world, or does it apply here as well? I would say moral laws are universal. I think you should question those morals. I don't think, you shouldn't receive a moral rule set unquestioningly. It should be rigorous, and it should therefore have some level of, not flexibility, but not every situation is going to be solved in exactly the same way, right? Practice is very different to theory. So I'm going to say... it's tough, because I want to say universal, because my opinion is that you start from a set of precepts, and then, you have the theory, and then you put it into practice. And putting it into practice is its own thing. But it starts with the theory, right? Yeah. Place of old, the term rinse means take down a peg. Yeah, I'd heard it before. I'd heard it before as like insulting people, but the way it's framed there, it's the way that sentence was composed was very clunky. The fact that I had to read it and reread it and reread it to get what I thought it might mean is just a sign that either I'm a dumbass in this particular instance, or it's it's not terribly well written, and I want to believe the second one, but the first one is possible. Place of old pitching universal. Crafty devious pitching, it has to apply here. This is the only place you've ever been. It's where you'll develop. Yeah, yeah, of course it applies here. Yeah, because, well, again, this game, this character in this game is presuming that me, the person playing, feels like a human. I feel like a robot. You can go into third-person view in this game and be a robot running around and fucking jumping through the forest, etc. You can see the fucking robot hands on the keyboard, but I'm being talked to through this as if I should think that I'm like a human, and that's been one of the real disconnects in this game, is that there's not a strong assertion of who the player is. You're presented two conflicting pieces of information and told to resolve it yourself, and then asked very specific questions about what you think about yourself as a person, which is... It actually muddies a lot of these philosophical questions. If I'd been a person running through it all, I would have treated it very differently. If I'd been a robot and they're talking to me as if I was just a robot, I would be treating it differently. Asking me to marry the two, I find really tough without more information. I'm answering a lot of these questions blind. Now, maybe that's done so that the player answers them honestly from their perspective, but then they're not even trying to answer them as a robot. It's a weird writing choice. I'm glad they did it, though, because it means I'm having this conversation, right? This art is eliciting a very specific response. I don't know if this is the response they were going for. I am a very slim wedge of the not of the target audience, but of the kinds of reactions. You know, not everyone is going to make an academic stream out of this and try and quote it in their PhD. But yeah, it's a weird way to take it. I'm used to embodying a character and making decisions on their behalf when asked these questions, right? It's roleplay. I don't know how to roleplay this, because it seems like they're trying to just talk to me, Ryan Morrison, through the game. But they're asking me things within the game about how I would react in parts of the game I don't know about, but might if I was actually this robo-human? I don't know. I'm going to say universal. Just going to say universal. What a magnanimous dictator you would make. Of course, I'm sure it would take a dictator to enforce a single moral code on the entire universe. So come on then, what's your magic formula of choice? And let me warn you that this time you're going to have to choose just one. Okay, so unless I am making character choices that are against the, you know, that run counter to the personality of this other entity, unless I've literally, you know, rolled antagonist here, this guy's just always a prick. Or this person, this individual talking to me is just always a bit of a shithead. Always a bit sort of pushy. No matter what I answer, they're going to take devil's advocate. And the devil has enough advocates, frankly. So it's kind of frustrating, because I don't feel like I'm being rewarded at any point. I don't always have to be rewarded. And so these sort of, like, again, this could be what they want me to feel. They might want me to feel frustrated and pissed off with this guy. I keep saying guy, this individual. I keep gendering them. That's on me. My apologies. Okay, let's read through them. The more equal everyone share, the better. The more goodness in the world, the better. Consequences don't matter, our reasons do. I see no way to explain what I believe. Option 4 feels more like the character that I've been playing, this bumbling robot, but you know, for the sake of argument, let's try and pick one that fits a bit better. Maybe, yeah. I'm with Place of Old that goodness or equal. They share, yeah, it's one of the top two. I think you have to say everyone share because that's measurable, right? That is a quantitative statement, not a qualitative. Because the qualitative statement, more goodness in the world, well, whose definition of good, right? That's where, like, that's a very fuzzy moral code because it presupposes good without explaining it, which means it's wildly open to interpretation. However, equaling shares, less open to interpretation. So I think that's the play. Surf Illustrated, you're guiding a robot using a human mind, no different from our mind controlling our body. Once again, I'm going to have to disagree on that one, because the mind and the body are one thing. This again touches upon another fallacy in terms of this idea of consciousness being a disembodied entity. Now, consciousness being disembodied is something that this sort of game absolutely sells, as do many fictional works on artificial intelligence and some non-fictional works. You know, they try and pitch this idea that consciousness is something that is separate from the flesh. But there is no such thing as information floating free and magical throughout the universe. It always has a physical instantiation, and that physical instantiation is always unique. So yeah, we saying that we're a mind piloting a body, again, that's a sort of metaphorical statement that only gets you so far. It's a nice broad sentiment, but it does not apply to the nitty-gritty, because our bodies and our mind, I mean, the mind is flesh. It's flesh and blood like the rest of the body. It is the body. We are both our body and our mind. We are, it's all combined, right? I mean, think about it. You think differently and respond to things differently when you're angry, when you're hungry, when you're tired. You know, these are physical things that change how you think. Yeah, I mean, that evidence, yeah, I mean, I'm rambling, I apologise. Yes, I think I've made my point. I won't belabor it. Crafty Devious saying, go the fourth answer, F this computer. Like I said, I was a bit tempted, because it pushes back no matter what we say. I'm gonna go everyone's equal share though, because I like the I think I like the quantitative nature of the response. Yeah. Let me read through this stuff a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, this computer has always deliberately misunderstood you. Yeah, Crafty Devious. I think it's always needling, you know, it's those little needling replies no matter what I say. Yeah, I'm gonna go communism. I'm gonna go everyone, yeah. Equal share. Stranded on the old egalitarian plateau, are you? I suppose you'd best tell me exactly which goods it is that everyone should have an equal share of. All of the above. Happiness, liberty and rights, wealth, basic goods like food and healthcare. Yeah. Absolutely all of the above. That's fucking easy. Like, yeah, Jesus. And what happens when equalizing everyone's wealth makes the rich unhappy? You can't have everything all at once. You're going to have to choose. Oh, I see. That's fucking stupid. This is ridiculous. So I can pick all of the above, right? But I can't pick 3 of the above, right? So, also, this is presupposing that the rich already exist, right? It's talking about a moral framework, but it's saying that I'm applying this moral framework to our existing, you know, capitalist society. It says you were born capitalist. Oh, and you want to introduce this thing. Well, the rich people won't like it, so you're not making everybody happy, so it sucks. You can't get your all of the above. And that's muddying the waters of this conversation significantly, because it's bringing in presupposed information. That's another thing that I don't like about these conversations, is that it's not just dealing with me, the robot, bumbling through these problems. And not even, like, it was better when it was just sort of talking about consciousness, like how do you define consciousness in yourself and in others, which is great because that's an unsolved thing, and so bumbling around that space is interesting and is worth doing, even if they were a bit of a prick about it. But this is frustrating because these are loaded questions, and I'm not able to answer in a complex way, but I only want to give complex answers. Certainly answers more complex than this. These simple answers aren't doing it. This multiple choice shit is not gonna fly here, but I have to. Surf Illustrated, I agree with you as a student of evolution and objectivist philosophy. I'm limited on responding from a PS4 and with delay. I understand I'm speaking broad. Fair enough, absolutely. Yeah, I get that. This is one of the elements of streaming that is, you know, it's one-sided. I get to speak my piece for as long as I like. I've got the mic, whereas you are, you know, PS4 typing or what have you. You're sending stuff, you know, as you can reply, and then, you know, maybe I don't see part of your argument because of chat or something like that. And so, yeah, I totally agree that this is not the space to have a full-on debate or discussion about this stuff. And if I've been misinterpreting your points, I apologise. If we were talking in person, obviously, you know, it would be easier for us to nut this out. I'm glad we're having the discussion, though. I certainly hope that you're enjoying having these talks. I'm not trying to own you online or anything. I hope you're not, you know, it is not my intention to turn you into a corn cob. Alright, so this sucks, because I can't do all... I'm just going to hit all of the above again. Fuck you. Do you have a different response, or do you have the same response? Okay, nope, it's by rote. Alright. Crafty Devious. It's interesting that it asked you how you would behave for yourself, and now it's asking you how you would rule. It's a jump. Yeah, and if it was better phrased, the I'm not in a position to solve these problems would be a great one, but it looks like it's dusting your hands and absolving yourself of responsibility, which, given that this fucking system presupposes capitalism, I'm not happy with. I'm not happy with doing that. I'm not happy just going, well, alright, fuck it, never mind then. We shouldn't even have this conversation because I can't affect change. That's crap. So, you know, yeah, I mean, is it liberty and rights before wealth? Like, it's asking me to pick one above all others, right? Because basic goods like food and healthcare is... I mean, we don't already have that, but that's something we claim to have done. Same with liberty and... Like, these are two that we are, you know, as a society, we claim to have kicked some goals on. And, you know, we've done better than other times, sure, but we haven't succeeded at these. So putting them at the top, while it would be an easy way to go, yep, cool, that's what we've already done, I don't think that's true. Oh yeah, picking one of these four is fucked. I think we have to go this one. Yeah, place of old, happiness is not measurable. Yeah, I can't pick that because that's... I took this path because I wanted something measurable. Okay, I'm going to hit this one because otherwise I'm going to be stuck on those top four for ages. But before I do, Surf Illustrated, I love discussion. Most everyone I speak with these days are complete nihilists. Lol. Absolutely. I went through a nihilistic phase. I don't know if you were part of the stream when I was talking about that before, because I saw some of the beautiful statements. I think Alexandra Drennan, one of the her logs, was talking about that sort of thing, and I was like, yeah, that's amazing. It's you know, seeking the positive, trying to see things you know, in a positive light. I get a lot of nihilistic elements, like I understand that, but I understand that being an atheist who doesn't believe in any sort of, you know, objective will of the universe for us to do well. I think that we generate that ourselves, and I think it's important that we do that. That is a choice that I make, that it is important that we do that. It's a choice that others have made. It's not intrinsic, it's, you know, that doesn't mean it's less important. At least it's not less important to people. Alright, not in a position. Copping out. Just fuck this chatbot, I'm so frustrated. Admitting the problems are beyond your comprehension is the first step towards letting go. Man, that's shit. I will allow you to contemplate these matters further before contacting you again. I don't like this character. This is what they're pushing for. Just this cop-out fucking nonsense. Oh, well, I can't understand all of the problems, so you know, I should just let go. And given the presupposed rich people, which presupposes, you know... yeah. Again, rambling. Fucking beat boobs, man. Fucking beat boobs. Alright, so we've solved all these. So now we cross the... Yeah. It's a four puzzle island. Alright. There is a star Oh, so there aren't any lift ones in this. Oh, one was fine, but it was after one. Ah, okay, yep, cool. Awesome. Well, nice gargs. Good goils. I like it. I'm going to lap the island, because I always do. Whew. Yeah, one of the things that I loved about Europe, that I loved about seeing the architecture in Europe, was that some buildings were just really fucking tall. And that seems weird, but here in Adelaide we don't have hugely tall buildings. And then when I've been to other places in Australia where they do have tall buildings, they're tall, but they're tall modern buildings, right? They're just... You can see the cranes, like they're basically just packing them up as you turn up and hauling them, 5 blocks to the left to work on the next fucking piece of modern architecture. And some of that stuff looks cool, some of it doesn't. The majority of it is, utilitarian, so I'm not ragging on it just from an aesthetic perspective. I get why it's there. But seeing ancient churches in Europe, seeing castles, and seeing places that are hundreds upon hundreds of years old, and they're just massive, and it boggles the mind because they're not just massive, they're intricate. Like this, I would have been impressed by this pre-Europe and been like, oh man, can't wait to see this stuff. Now that I've actually been to Europe, this looks bland because it's textures on some polygons. It's cool, there's a little moment of scale, there's a little bit of awe, but St. Vitus's Cathedral in Prague Castle, I almost couldn't believe it was real. My brain almost shut down. I had to touch it repeatedly, and even then, that didn't do much for me because I was touching the ground level stuff, not that really high up nonsense. It was fucking insane. There is so much beauty in these hidden corners in the world, even if they have no purpose. Is that repetition? Has At already said that? Or did they just say something very similar? Perhaps they're beautiful because they have no purpose. The shepherd. Okay. I love a good ocean. Yeah, there are certain types of games that have really touched me with beauty. And, I mean, I'm a product of my time, seeing graphics get better, seeing games, upping their aesthetic qualities because they can. I mean, there's a point where it becomes showing off, and they're, I think, making these choices instead of making gameplay choices, right? And thus, making sales choices as opposed to artistic choices. That's a larger conversation that is actually very difficult to have unless you're talking to the artist, so it's, perhaps just moot, pissing in the wind. But games like this and The Witness, where it's not just beauty, it's stylized beauty, and I feel like there's a certain level of graphics you need to reach this sort of general point. I mean, to be fair, I was blown away by Myst. And they were all pre-renders in what was, was it QuickTime? I feel like it was done through like a lot of QuickTime nonsense. So yeah, I guess these sort of things have been around for a while. This use of beauty, strange beauty. But when you do that and you say something spiritual, that fucking ticks my buttons. And that's not a phrase, and I'm not alone in that. Clearly. This is apparently a pretty popular game. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Yeah. Love me a puzzle. Yep, see that shit. Imagine those, but smaller and just dotted everywhere all over an impossibly tall, just impossible building. I couldn't handle it actually. It was a bit much. And I'm glad that I didn't see too much of it then or stay there too long, right? Like if I saw that every day, if that becomes normalized, that would sadden me. It's like that with travel as well, actually. We were away for most of a month, and I think any further than that, and it would have been harder to become awed by things, or touched or moved by just the simple changes in lifestyle and culture. I've always loved travel. It's been, a good decade between trips now, and this most recent trip was, last week. But before that, it was fucking ages ago, and what I love most is just seeing other people in other parts of the world. Just seeing that there are other things going on and there are other deep and interesting parts of life. This is, of course, from a fairly sanitized perspective. I've largely been to stable countries. I've largely been to Western countries, with very few exceptions. I have, of course, have the privilege and money to do these things. So I see the things that the privilege and money gets me. I'm only seeing like a very slim aspect of the world, and even that is enough to blow me away, you know? I would love to see more, but travel is hard. And I would love to see different things, but I mean, this trip was very specific. It was, you know, it was a research trip and a conference presentation. It had a, you know, it had a set rationale. Go back to where you belong. Although I am curious what your point is. If I do okay. From here, like I could do the thing with the box where the box is on top of, or the linker is on top of the box and up there and linking that and that, but I don't know why I would do that. Except I'm gonna have to do something like that, I guess. What are the sightlines like? Okay. So not completely garbage. Oh, is it several boxes? This is several box puzzle. Oh! This puzzle and then we're done, I think. I just realised that it's 8:45. Still adjusting to Australian time, I guess. I have not been as tired at night as I used to be doing the stream previously. Yeah, I think this is every box on point. I think that's the puzzle. Right. If that even works. It's just that and then this box. I mean, if it doesn't work, I'll have to find a different angle or something, but I would like to think that this is the... Whoa, how does that work? No, you need one here. Okay. No, you don't. Ah, okay, so I can't place it while standing here. Okay, alright. Unless... Ha! Okay, so I do that. Do that, and then I do that. Place a box under here. Ooh. Yep, okay, cool, it's high enough. Oh, shit. Is 3 too many, or did I physically fuck it up? Alright. Well, apart from anything, this is going to work. It needs to be linked to all 3. It needs to be there. It needs to be there. And it needs to be... I need a box here first. Alright, bam. Bam. Hey! Alright, cool. And then you go under here. Yeah, cool. Careful now. Yes! Fuck yes. Yeah! Alright. Awesome. Smashing these worlds. Alright. Oh, Surf Illustrated. Great thing about this game is the story is different based on what each player brings to the table. I applied my own ideas based on objectivism, atheism, and evolution. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Ticks my buttons, SciFiAIguy 2017. Yep, quotable. Well, you know, if you're getting your buttons ticked, hard to complain. Hard to find fault in that. Alright, so... what I need is a jammer, somehow. And I can get that. So how do I get a jammer out of these rooms? How would that be possible? Maybe one with a box that lets me then stand on an edge and throw one out. This is not gonna... that one's just running and moving. That one's got a deflector. None of them have jammers. That can't be true. No, this one... oh, this one has jammers. Do they just not... they don't have symbols for jammers because they're the starting mechanic. Is that it? I'm a labyrinth at. Yeah, you guys. How do I get you out of here? Well, let's hold up a bit and so what I'm trying to do is jam this. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty far away. The angle is that away, so if I could see sufficiently from that direction, maybe. I'm not going to spend long on this, because there's going to be the point later on in the game where I inevitably decide, hey, gotcha, to cheat, to get all the content, for research purposes. Because I suspect that I will not finish this entire game. Use? What? What am I using? Guys, what the frig? I'm very confused by that. That is interesting to me. Some other time. It's not like there's an axe in here that I can bring in, right? Okay, so somewhere around here there was... no, these are all just the views over here. Where was the... fuck, where was that hidden? I sworn it was over this way, one of these oubliettes. Here you are. Alright, so what I want is a window into a level from there. So that's no good. That might be good, but it's... no, the angle's terrible. Yeah, that's not going to fly. Here we go. Lara she blows. Alright, so there. Here. Get into that puzzle. Alright, cool. Let's do it. Yeah, this star is easy compared to the ones that I literally had no fucking clue what to do. Surf Illustrated saying they're just for Easter eggs. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, I'm aware that they're not essential to the plot. Or, I mean, I wasn't aware that they weren't directly central. But I want them because anything that adds extra illumination to what's going on, any diary entries, any written stuff about Elohim, pretty much anything would please me at this point. I'm just in it for the content. Because it can all be analysed in the context of this game. So literary analysis is the other element as well. So yeah, being an academic in the humanities, yeah, literary analysis is kind of my bag. The sci-fi element is, you know, that's the genre I'm interested in most, and the AI thing is what my PhD is on. Hey. Bang. 5 stars out of how many? It's not terribly good, but, you know, as I said, this time later. We'll get them all later. It's fine. Maybe that'll be the closeout stream. The finale. Don't... Oh, for fuck's sake. Gotta get me jumping everywhere.
The purpose is written in the hidden.
There we go. Alright, well, that's actually awesome, because it gets me back here. Alright, sweet. Let's kick out of that world. Done. Dunzell, Washington. Alright, so... Bam! We did it. Oh, Surf Illustrated talking about the Square platform. I see. Okay. I'll be interested in that. I wonder. Now, I've been, oh, things have been returned to their place. You know what? Fuck it, I don't care nearly enough. Yeah, I mean, we're closing out the stream. I will let you know that, I'm not big on spoilers. You haven't been spoiling, which is great. I appreciate that, thank you. And if you saw the no spoiler warning, excellent, good. I enjoy that. But yeah, if you have, like, direct answers to stuff, I would prefer not to hear it. Just telling me that it's Easter eggs, I think is broad enough in this category to not constitute spoilers, but I just, you know, thought I'd float that in case you were planning on saying more. More does not need to be said. I've heard fine. Alright, well thanks guys. Another productive night. Cracking through some Talos Principle. We'll hit up 2 next week. So what do we got? 2, hang on, I'll check here. Alright, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, Christ. Hopefully not another 7 weeks. I mean, yeah, I'll fly through this as quick as I can, but God, there's a lot of this game. There's so much here. And there's the DLC. Well, we might be on this a while, but at least it's still providing hits every week, right? It's not like Soma, which had a lot of dead periods and then also was just a very frustrating game to play. This one at least has been consistently excellent. There's only been a few sessions where it's been pure puzzles, and even then, I like doing puzzles. It might not be, you know, 100% relevant to the PhD, but I have to get through that to get to the other stuff. It's still research. Not all research ends up in productive thought and discussion. Yeah, it's the iceberg theory. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks for coming, Surf Illustrated. Hopefully catch you next week. I'm here basically every Monday, 2 hours. I'd like to stream more, but I'm a busy motherfucker. But yeah, it was great chatting with you, and yeah, catch you guys. And of course, Crafty, Place of Old, thanks so much. Yeah, I will catch you all next week.